Hey everybody, welcome to my stream. This is CoKo Plays Baldur's Gate. This is the first episode, or part, of CoKo Plays Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3, of course. So, let's get into it. I only loaded the game to just double check the graphics and other settings. As usual, things like audio levels, I'll adjust after like the first couple of streams when I get the sense of how loud dialogue and music and everything is, but I think it's okay for now. There was a pop-up on my stream related to the Twitch integration, so I created an account and integrated like my Steam and Twitch. So I haven't watched any streams of this game. I don't know anything about this game, but the description of what is involved with this extension is that Twitch followers can have some involvement in my game, like vote on dialogue options and stuff. So, if we see opportunity for that to happen, great. I also, like set up online play in the sense that I think I made myself public, so other people can join my game, whatever that means. I'm sure we'll find out. I like the idea. Let's take a look at the multiplayer menu. In fact, I got a Windows Defender pop up for the ports used, I guess. So hopefully by allowing it through, everything will work right. So I see some online lobbies. It's been a while since I've played like a D&D based game, RPG, but when I was younger, they were my bread and butter. I played Icewind Dales, Neverwinter Nights', the first two Baldur Gates'. I don't remember them much, but I played them, and those were so long ago. So I'm really excited for something like this. And I am really interested in engaging in a cooperative community type of way of doing this. I don't have it's really hard to get like a group of close friends all who want to play the game at the same time and form a party and play like the whole game, the whole story through with a party. That'd be awesome. But, it's kind of prohibitive for me to try and set that up and coordinate it with friends of mine who might be interested. So I'll try and see if I can find opportunities for like multiplayer, either joining random servers or letting people in. I don't know what to expect from either choice, so I'm just gonna try things out and find out as I go. The other thing is that I'm playing on keyboard and mouse for now, and that's in part because I've always played these games keyboard and mouse. And I imagine they've made adaptations for console support and controller support over the years. Oh, I didn't move my microphone close to me. I apologize for that. Now my microphone is closer to me. So that's my bad. I didn't set up my microphone properly. Hopefully you could still hear me before, and I think it'll be a little clearer now, and I don't have to speak as loudly, which is good. So right now I'm going to play on keyboard and mouse, but I will try controller at some point because I just want to get a sense of how it's going to work in this game. And maybe if I prefer it, I'll continue on controller, but in addition to having experience with this type of game with point and click and keyboard, I also get the impression that there's similarities to previous games where you have like quick slots and a lot of options for what you can do at any given time, and that's just the style of game it is, which it really benefits input mode where you have a number of buttons to use to associate with each of those activities, those actions. And so like in general, my style is like I like to pick a input style that I kind of feel the developers were going towards. Like if it's a controller based type of game, like Breath of the Wild or, you know, Elden Ring, Dark Souls games, I'm going to do it with controller. You know, so what if I grew up, you know, doing mouse and keyboard? Like first person shooters, mouse and keyboard, it just feels much easier, like to aim and fire with the mouse than to try and do that with a thumb on a joystick on a controller. Like, that's just not as intuitive to me, even though doing that for some console first-person shooters back in the day. So I like to make the choice based on not just the game, but also what I think the development team, you know, prioritized, tested, aimed for. And with this game, I'm not really sure. I did a quick search before starting of like what seems to be the preferred method, and you know, I got kind of conflicting results, which is a good thing, because it probably means that people have preferences either way, which means that both are reasonably well supported. But I'm going to lean towards keyboard and mouse, and I saw a few people having that similar thought. So that works for me for now, but I'll change it if I need to. Okay, so difficulty, you know, I like doing standard stuff. I'm not trying to prioritize the challenge. I like playing through the story. I like when the combat and other challenging elements are challenging enough to be fun. And so I'm okay with stuff that's hard. But I don't want to go overboard such that like I have to optimize my play in a way that becomes more a different play style that's like a type of thinking about the game where you're optimizing things, like a metagaming type of thing like that. For a first playthrough, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to take a quick look at the customized. There's also a detailed overview for honor mode. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do honor mode for a first playthrough. Not just like haven't played any of these style of games for a long time, so certainly not this one. I'm not ready for that. Alright, so standard rule set. I have a little bit of experience with Dungeons & Dragons, not that much, and quite frankly, most of my experience with the Dungeons & Dragons rule sets are through video game adaptations. And so, like, the way combat generally works, I'm comfortable with. But like it's helpful. I've always had, in most circumstances, either a computer or a human act as like dungeon master and manage the flow for me. So I'm familiar with it, but I'm not like proficient and know everything about it. So that's a factor in my choice here. So custom mode allows you to pick a rule set which I wouldn't care to specify. Don't really need to like make a single save slot. Like, yeah, I'll try and just play, and if mistakes happen, they happen. It's part of the fun. Part of the story is to mess up and have to redirect. But you know, I don't need to like set it as a restriction. Everything can be balanced. That's fine. But I'm just curious. Yeah, all good. All good. Okay, there's some sliders here for multipliers and things. Yeah, multi-classing is allowed, which I would definitely want, I expect. Cool, it's nice to see what the custom mode means. I have no desire to change any of those things. So, a tough campaign, it's either balanced or tactician for me, I think. But I think I'm going to do balanced because it's been a while since I've played a D&D based game. And since I'm streaming it too, you know, my brain is going to be occupied with talking about things. So, balance sounds good for me. I do like when games offer like explorer, you know, story modes. Nothing wrong with that. Like I saw it in Hogwarts Legacy. And although the combat system was pretty fun, like if somebody wanted to get the story out of that game without incorporating the combat into their playstyle, awesome. Like that's a great way to experience these games. So I don't know actually what controls the keyboard has. I'll have to look those up as I go. In combat, hit O to enter tactical mode. All right, let's see what we learned from the cutscene. Similar to what I've said before, I'm not an expert on D&D lore. Yeah, some of the names of things I'm familiar with, but like the whole backstory to worlds and characters and stuff, I don't to have all of that in my head. I don't think I'll need to. I think this game will explain to me its story, and that's what I'm looking for. Alright, so this guy here has got some gauntlets on. There's an ill look about him, keeping this character trapped and now getting a worm in. A lot of little cocoon pods there that perhaps there's others in, including us maybe. Gotta take some screenshots. Okay, so...
Who are you?
Right. We'll have to decide. So that's kind of the framing of the backstory, which makes me wonder, like, are we under some control in our story that we're going to have to, like, shake loose at some point or deal with? Is this all in some imaginary sense? I don't know. It wouldn't be like, you know, we're imagining the story of the game, but there's some influence perhaps on us. I'm going to leave tutorials on for now, of course. Oh no, my camera is blocking the right side of the screen. I'm going to have to adjust that for this game, I think. I fully expected that my first stream is going to be spending a lot of time in the character creator, and that's just the way it's going to be. I don't have any notion of what type of character I want for this game at all. Sometimes with games going in, I'm like, well, like the first time I played Elden Ring, I just kind of knew I wanted to do magic. I just felt it. And even also like headcanon for the personality that your character has. Sometimes I feel it, just like what I want, what type of character I want to embody. But right now I don't. I don't have anything in my head. So something that seemed to have been created for me here was a high elf. I can't read it without moving my head. Heirs of the mystical. I wonder if I can move this pop-up. I can't, unfortunately. Alright, so barbarian. So I think first I'll kind of do type of character, class, race, and then we'll adjust appearance based on maybe like some thoughts I would have around like orientation or personality. The last D&D group that I participated in, I was a wizard too. Clearly, it's a style I like. Bound by a pact to an all-powerful patron, warlocks trade their loyalty for supernatural abilities and unique magic. That sounds pretty good. Or I should say I was a sorcerer, I think. Rogue is always a fun class. Of the D&D based games, I probably played Neverwinter Nights the most. I think I did several playthroughs of that over the years. At least one as a ranger. Summoning a familiar. That's cool. I like that. I could potentially do Paladin. I almost never do Paladin type classes and straight on melee type combat. Monk could be cool. So I'm trying to think of both like categories of influence with my choice. Like combat is one thing. I want it to be fun and interesting, and I also don't know, who I'm going to team up with. That was a big fun back in Neverwinter Nights. One of the reasons I enjoyed playing as I did Rogue, Ranger, sort of support type classes, because I almost always had a companion. Or pretty much from the start of that game, you can elicit help. And so you can easily have someone take responsibilities for like being a tank, or just like doing as much damage as possible in some capacity while you shoot from afar or set traps or steal, those types of things. And it can be really fun, and like it then seeps into the type of character you play as. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do here. I want to think of like what would be fun. I'm going to assume that I'm going to have people with me in some places at least. So I can be someone who does support druid. Neat. There seems to be like music for each class or something. That's kind of cool. And Bard is definitely a class where you can create a personality for your character through their class. I mean, you can do it for all of them, of course, but Bard is a particularly fun one because it's different. Yeah, barbarian, like, it just tends not to be my style. I don't think I'm going to do it this time either. I'm thinking either druid. So if I'm narrowing it down, I'm thinking druid, warlock, or ranger or monk, maybe. The standard wizard or sorcerer just isn't feeling as right now. But warlock, I could play as someone who's, you know, selfishly trying to acquire power. Yeah, no loyalties to schools of thought or deities or ancestral past. Just whatever I can do in the world to learn things and get what I want. That could be an interesting choice for both abilities and headcanon. Now, on the flip side, I do also like the paladin feature. Not feature, but like the considerations. Like, we're on this journey, and I'm gonna stick by you. And in moments of doubt, look to me. So someone is joining the game, huh? That's interesting. I wonder what'll happen if, like, they get tired of waiting for me, because that seems likely. Maybe I signed up for too much by making it public. Did I remove them or did they leave? I'm not sure, honestly. I might want to adjust my game to be friends only. Because I was thinking I'd let people join, but, like, I don't know if I want to do it right from the start. I could see monk as like a similar thought to warlock. I think I'm feeling druid over everything. I can have a loyalty to something outside of what we're, you know, choices we're faced with, something bigger, like, you know, nature, so to speak, in whatever form that comes in. And then be obligated or by need go on these quests and use my knowledge of the wider world to help me, but all in service to it. Something like that. A little different from the warlock, a little more benevolent in nature. Yeah, okay. Druid is what I'm doing. I also like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here too, but I like what I'm seeing here. Like, you can transmutate your staff or club to deal bludgeoning damage, so that sounds helpful. And using spellcasting ability for attack rolls is a nice way to, you know, be capable at doing like close-up damage, like melee combat damage, while still prioritizing magical abilities. So I like that. And then the Thorn Whip seems like a magical attack. So pulls a creature close to you to then hit it. And it can't be done if it's huge in size, and it's got a range of 9 meters. So I guess I might actually be closer up in combat than I might have thought. But that's great. I've got some spells. Ice Knife. So piercing type of damage. And cold. I suppose that's me. I guess I'm the bald capybara. Oh, yeah? Well, then there you go. That works perfectly. Oh, that's good to know. I imagine patch 8 probably won't influence like too much of the character creation stuff, which is probably all I'm going to do today. So I think I'll just try and, you know, at least get through that, and then we'll see. It's fun to just like have the opportunity to develop. Oh, really? New subclass too. Now you got me thinking then, because being able to examine the subclass before I make a choice might actually influence my thought. But I am feeling Druid of the choices, so I don't know. I don't know if I want to try and like wait and then second guess myself and have to do all this over again. What I can do is just pick something now, and then tomorrow, or when the patch comes, just see. Like, create a new save file and just see what, if anything changed that might want to make me restart it. So that's probably a good compromise. But it's good to know, thank you. Alright, and I got some healing spells too, which seem useful to have. Okay. Oh, I haven't thought of a name for my character. That's gonna take forever. Alright, so let's stick with Druid, and let's think about the character. So they got some characters you can start as. I'm just curious. Star Circle. Call upon Star. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'm just curious what play introduction does. Oh.
Hello, darling. Don't be shy. I promise not to bite until we've been formally introduced.
Hey, Phoenix.
My name's Astarion, and I've spent a century stalking the night, hunting for pretty morsels just like you. A man called Cazador made me what I am, kept me like a pet, forced me to do his bidding. No more. The Tadpole's influence broke his dominance over me, and now I can finally pursue the one thing I've hungered for these long, dark years.
Oh, no worries, Kai. I appreciate it.
Revenge. I'm going back to Baldur's Gate to track Cazador down in his lair. I'll be the last thing the bastard ever sees.
Yeah, I kind of got the same I kind of got the same like inclination that I'd rather create my own character to play through, just because that's my RPG preference. But I don't, I'm learning the game as I go, so I just want to try options out just to see things. I'm going to move very slowly, probably more slowly than almost any other player in the early game as I get things figured out. It's just kind of neat to just see like a fully fledged character. I won't do all of them, but I just kind of want to get a sense of some of these.
Since I was born in the cold reaches.
Yeah, so you get a whole backstory, sense of purpose, something to roleplay as.
Red dragon in service of my regent, the Githyanki Queen Vlaakith. My first step on this path is to slay a mind flayer and bring its head to my queen. There is no flesh I will not carve, and no barrier I will not shatter to see it done. I am the one who sunders. I am the Undying Queen's most unshakable warrior. I am Lae'zel of Kalir.
That's a good name, too. Similar to a name I used for a character when I played Mass Effect. Yeah, and I love that they have the origin characters have kind of very clear delineations of what they're about. That seems appropriate. It's like a subset of the choices you have available to you if you go from scratch, but they kind of all represent, certain classes and races and points of view. Let's see what Gale says.
Well met, stranger. You find yourself in the presence of the renowned wizarding prodigy, Gale of Waterdeep. Please, no need to be intimidated. My virtuosic talents once caught the eye of the goddess of magic herself, Mistra.
He's got a lot of confidence.
Me her chosen, and her lover.
And charm.
Thanks to a slight miscalculation on my part, that relationship eventually soured.
Slight miscalculation.
Now
I feel like he's downplaying that.
On the road to redemption. Unless I can find the path to something greater.
I think that's an accurate summary. Well, I'm enjoying seeing these characters. And it may well help me create like a backstory and point of view for mine. So why not? It's my game. Anyone who's bored can watch somebody else's stream. So I'm doing what I want.
My name is Shadowheart, loyal servant of Shar, goddess of darkness and loss. There is little more I can tell you than that. My Lady Shar tasked me with a mission of such secrecy that I surrendered great swathes of my memory in order to safeguard the knowledge of it. All I know is that I must bring the artifact I hold to Baldur's Gate, and that nothing can stand in my way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Watching.
And I mean, I can see that. I was instantly drawn to that backstory. Like, there's a, like tragic backstory and this sense of urgent repayment of something or vengeance for something. Like, those characters are always compelling.
"7 years ago, I was exiled from Baldur's Gate, the city I call home. My name is Will, but the people of the Sword Coast call me the Blade of Frontiers, champion of the meek, defender of the innocent. The truth isn't quite so simple, but they're right about one thing. I hunt monsters, and I always catch my prey. My latest target is a devil, and I'm right on her tail. Once I'm through with her, she'll never escape the fires of the first hell."
10 years ago, I was sold to the Archdevil Zariel. She put a Hellfire engine in my chest and made me her prize soldier. But I've escaped now. Thank you, Mind Flayers. And I've got a few scores to settle. If this engine doesn't burn me to ash first, I'll need people I can trust. An infernal mechanic, and a serious amount of luck. But you know what? I'm not worried. After 10 years in the Hells, I can take on anything. I've got my chance at freedom, and believe me, I'm going home.
That's a really cool backstory. Oh boy, you remember nothing but a path. Filled with blood.
My rancid blood whispers to me, kill, kill, and kill again.
And you want to keep doing that, or you want to change your ways?
Yearns to reap death in this world. And when this foul urge calls, it possesses my whole being.
Oh boy.
Injured beyond repair. I know nothing besides this. I must resist the dark urge.
Yeah.
Lest it consume my mind.
It is a nice dynamic, though, in a character.
Who I was and what happened to me before my
Someone who gains power through this
tragedy and blood.
Force they don't even understand, but also wants to resist it. It could be, that could make for some fun role playing. Probably not my style anyway, but yeah. Cool. Very cool characters, and I think I did get some inspiration as far as just kind of thinking of how I might play through things. So let's kind of reset to, and then you can, I guess, randomize the other stuff. I'll do it all myself. So the choices we made, we'll stick with Druid, and then now next choice, Race. That's where the backstory can come into play. So my instinct for Druid was kind of like, I'm going to allow myself to get involved in the shenanigans of the story. But, I do have this greater call to be on the side of nature. So kind of Orc, you could play it perhaps as like going against the nature of their race. That's a way to go. Dragonborn, perhaps like pining for a nature now gone. Gnome kind of feels like it's a natural pairing for a druid. Yeah, and in terms of like high fantasy, elves and nature definitely are a classic combo. Githyanki, huh? With a ruthlessness born from Mind Flayer enslavement, Githyanki ride the astral sea atop red dragons, bringing their silver sword and psionic might to bear against any trace of the Illithid menace. Huh, curious. Mind Flayer enslavement. Worth considering. Human, huh? Yep. Humans are what they are. Yeah, definitely a lot of influence of Tolkien in a lot of fantasy, and specifically D&D. I'm not like I said it earlier. I don't know if you were on the stream, but like I'm not an expert in any of this stuff. Like I've played D&D games, I've done D&D like tabletop campaigns, but I am not an expert on the lore. I don't have a lot of knowledge of the backstory of anything. I do have some fantasy exposure, both Tolkien and otherwise, and I'm going to use that, of course, as much as I can. But I'm willing to just like go along for the ride and make choices based on semi-arbitrary reasoning, and like allow myself to learn along the way. Yeah, elves are always hot. No, I kind of like this idea of going for an aspect of nature which is maybe you don't notice it, and maybe you should pay more attention to it. Like you discount it, you don't even see it, or if you do, you underestimate it. But if you don't pay attention to nature, it'll come back and bite you. So I could incorporate that into the character. Small, clever, energetic. And we get a faster speed, which is kind of nice, I suppose, and some cunning. I mean, why not be cunning? What like features does Elf have? Oh, elves are even faster, of course. And they got some proficiency with these weapons. That's fine. Dark vision, huh? Yeah, and interesting camera angles. Well, like low angle, seen through the foliage, or maybe we're hidden from view. Alright, I'll go with my instinct and just play what comes to me. Alright, sub race. Cool. Perhaps the background they're showing now is giving me forest vibes, and so I'm thinking forest. But a deep gnome actually sounds pretty good too. Coming up to the surface and like, bringing some long lost knowledge of nature that maybe the surface world forgot. Could do a similar story of rocks. Like rock is kind of the base. Forests and all the greenery is beautiful, but it's all built on top of rock. I'm actually not going to like let players join until I start my game. I don't know, I'm just making that choice now. I don't know what anything means, and I don't want to tax my brain too much. I'm like worrying if I'm keeping people waiting and whatnot. So I'm just going to do it myself for now. Affinity towards metal. Yeah, something about rock. It's either rock or deep. Dark vision, nothing wrong there. Twice your proficiency bonus to history checks, so lore. And some dark vision, up to 12 meters. It's not nothing. I think the forest probably has that too. Yeah. Yeah, I admit that like that's likely to be the case for many players who really want to play in the spirit of this type of game to immerse themselves in the lore. So I'm not like too anxious about it. But just the fact that there's the multiplayer component, which I'm not familiar with how it works, and I don't want to be, like I don't want to get spoiled by like watching other people's streams and stuff. So I'm just gonna like kind of ignore that aspect of it, because by default the game sets you to friends only for creating a party. And like I don't have any friends currently playing this game, and so I set it to public just to like expand that a bit. But I can see, you know, as somewhat expected, that people are going to just be constantly trying to join. So I'll adjust that later. But I'm going to do the rock gnome. I like the idea of like this kind of lore that I'm bringing. It's similar to the idea of like somebody coming in from the deep with ancient knowledge. All right, so we got those three things. Thank you. That's good advice. And yeah, I can see why. Like, if you want to take your time and get to know the game, playing with strangers who don't know what you're doing and you can't talk to them, and that could be really hard dynamic. I've had that happen in other games too. Okay, so you can change these. And they don't use spell slots and can be cast at will. So stuff that you really just want to use a lot. Oh, I didn't mean to click that, but cool. What would a rock gnome do a lot of? Yeah, bludgeoning, sure. Thorn whip's definitely not bad. And resistance ain't bad either. There's a nice combination with these two of like pulling someone close and then bludgeoning them. But resistance does seem like a useful one too. Produce flame. Fire damage. Those are all good. Maybe more situational. Do I want to stick with the defaults? Yeah, fire damage is definitely good. Piercing, bludgeoning. Just not for California, of course. I used to live there, and part of why I left is that. But that's why I'm a gnome with a druid gnome. Bring the forces of nature to bear to those who either won't listen or don't want to. Yeah, I mostly just like the idea of having the non-standard set to give my character more uniqueness, but the idea of needing a long rest to use this again. I think I picked balanced, I believe, which I feel is a decent choice for me. Okay, let's go with that for now. And my background. Yeah, this is a good thing. Oh, cool. Thanks for the tip. Alright, so my idea is like bringing some base history of the overall sphere of nature to the world. So, folk hero, let's see what folk hero's got. Champion of common people, maybe. Maybe. Sage arcane history, that fits. Don't have to go that route, of course. Druid TikToker. Hey, I mean, you know, part of the character's goal has to be what's an effective way to get this done. If you know, being a druid famous TikToker is the way to spread the news about the lessons of nature, maybe that's the goal. Maybe entertainer's the way to be most effective. I'm free to come up with a character, even one that surprises me. So, yeah, a long line of druid gnomes, druid rock gnomes could work. Not impossible, or just a trade orientation. I've learned from people who have been doing this for thousands of years. I don't know about charlatan for me. Probably not acolyte. I mean, criminal could be fun. From a variety of, like, standpoints. Like, I'm trying to do something that the law might not necessarily be in alignment with. So, yeah, I'm a criminal. But I'm a criminal for good reason. And I might need criminals to help me. Like, my moral compass is different from what society deems normal. It could be an option. Deception and stealth are also cool skills to leverage. Yeah, urchin maybe. I like that. Soldier maybe. Outlander was kind of like in line with what I was saying, of like coming out of, you know, the deep or something with this desire and expertise, but I don't think I need to go that literal with it. Well, I mean, I already got my, like, my first month of TikTok reels planned out, so we're gonna make some money. Yeah, I think Guild Artisan is where I'm leaning. I just like the idea of healing the world through expertise that's been honed over time. And then using insight and persuasion, like, that's fine. Arcana and history, those are nice too. No, I might have to go with Sage. That just feels the most closely associated. Okay. Sage it is. I'm a sage rock gnome. And skill proficiencies are based on what I chose. I think we'll probably leave them as they are. Yeah, all that looks pretty good. Alright, strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence. Hey, I ain't no moron. I got lots of wisdom. That's so much wisdom. This is pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy with this assignment they gave me. And then prepared spells, right. Yeah, exactly. It's the main stat. And so, let it be high. Okay, I like Entangle, I got that. Fog Cloud, sure, but speak with animals. If I were a forest gnome, I might need to go the animal route. But like I can see speaking with animals as being one of my prepared spells. Over thunder. Heal a creature I can touch. Okay, that's fine. So it's either melee or 18 meter. Ah, conjuring berries for healing too. Hmm. I think I like water. Awesome. Alright, so I gotta decide now on appearance, yeah. Sometimes that can take longer than anything else. So, let's hear the voices.
Where to next?
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Be wary. This place is trapped. It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed. I can feel its aura.
Where to next?
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Hells, something just woke up down here.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed.
Where to next? Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Okay, voice 2. Is it like rock gnome? What kind of rock gnome do I want to be? Skin tone. Maybe we started to crack, and that's why we're going on this quest. I don't know. Okay. Older, probably. But gnomes are long-lived, so within their lifespan, Yeah, I'm liking what I see from the options they give you in the character creator. I mean to go up there. Oh, it's going up by 10, that's why. Okay, freckles. Okay. I didn't see hair options, which seems unusual. Maybe they're on the side. Ah, yep, my camera is blocking that. That's my bad. My camera is blocking half of the options. That's what I get. I like the idea of like facial markings. That's kind of why I was thinking of freckles. Something that demonstrates similarity to like rock formations, striations, and other patterns that develop geologically. That, you know, could then have been incorporated into cultural affectations. Doesn't need to be like hyper literal. Could just be like, you know, a society that enjoys patterning themselves after something treasured, like the rocks of the world. But none of these really give me that vibe. Even something like this is a little too, what's the word? Like artificial, not geologic. Alright, I think maybe nothing. What does this look like? Maybe. Okay, wait. Look what else is here. Eyes. Green is good. Eyes, I could go something like crystalline, maybe like a quartz or yeah, something like that. I mean, my, you know, I want to be creative and all. I'm not claiming to have, like, expertise as a writer, but try and establish patterns and connections where I can and see where that takes me. And they don't have to be perfect. Heterochromia, yeah, that's a cool idea. I don't know if it applies to my character. Maybe not. Check up some makeup. What do I want to do? So makeup could be a way that I incorporate this idea of like geologic patterns or mineralization. That doesn't seem to be doing anything. I kind of like something that has a little bit of a shape to it here. Let's go with that. Let's go with maybe something greenish. Another option is to think of it like moss, but or lichen. This kind of works. There's an intensity. Hesitant, huh? It's weird that... Yeah, Wishing Stone is a good inspiration. I can't quite tell if... oh, it's all turned down to 0. That's probably why. Okay, that's why. So something that matches... On the greenish said green 8 is what I picked. Okay. And then hair, that's going to be a fun one. Sometimes in character creators, I do stuff like hair first and then develop the facial features and whatnot around the hair. But again, like this kind of stuff, the organic process can make decisions for you. Whatever looks good now, I'll go with, and whatever happens, happens. But hair is somewhere where I can maybe inject some personality based on like a rock gnome culture, like, you know, geometric and precise, or unkempt and organic. Could go any which way with it. So this gives like a geometric look, but it is not just like square. It's kind of triangular, which is an interesting idea. Buns as pebbles, that's a neat idea too. Yeah, there's no wrong answer in this stuff. So it's kind of just like vibes. Right, even if it's short term, like maybe halfway through. I actually like when games give you the opportunity to change your appearance so you can incorporate it in your story. Like you discover something about yourself and you change your hairstyle as a result. I do that a lot in games where I get the option to. But I also am, kind of lazy as a player, so it doesn't always have to be like that. Rock cleavage. This is kind of a neat idea. Accentuate the shape of the head. Alright, I could rock that. Yep. Pun intended. Of course, I could also go with the idea of plant life on me. It's not bad. Okay, so to try and move things a little more forward, I think I got 3 options. This one here, it's a bit more triangular in nature. This one here, where it's got like more organic feel to it. Or where was it? Not that one. This one here. Yeah, I think I'm digging this. Because I'm not trying to, like, preserve nature in the sense of, you know, just bare rocks. You know, for the purposes of fostering a rich and diverse and thriving ecosystem. So, some sense of abundance is a good idea. Ginger hair color, but there's also some highlights and graying. I actually kind of like the way this looks, to be honest. The green of my makeup is a little off, but it kind of goes with the eyes a bit. I might want to adjust that. Everything else, though, I can just kind of dig in the way it came up. Yeah, it's like a vegetation feel, but I don't want to go so far in that direction. Graying intensity. I don't know if this needs it. Yeah, it doesn't really need it. Okay, cool. That works. Let me just do a quick adjustment of the green here. Maybe a lighter green. Or something with some blue in it for the eyes. Or I could go darker. Darker would always work too. Yeah, I dig emerald. And then maybe we want to adjust this too. Nah, lip is fine. Alright, this looks really cool. facial hair. That could be an interesting addition. Kind of like some facial hair. I don't know about the mutton chops. It's an interesting look. Kind of dig that. That's... wow. Cool. Ooh, I am tempted to go full on facial hair. Very tempted. The only problem with this choice is just kind of is at odds with the hair on my head. One's a little too organized, and I mean, I could work that into the character. And the contradiction, not contradiction, but like contrast of ways that nature can manifest, patterned or unkempt. I could work anything into the character, right? I was like, it doesn't matter. There's no limitation. But it just is a bit too odd of a combination of something that's like braided and organized and something that's a bit more organic. Yeah, I don't know. I like some of these, but not enough. I feel this adds something. It does work. I just like, I'm lazy and I'd have to adjust the color because this like, why is this purple? That comes from my other hair choices, I guess. It's just more pronounced in the beard. Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's the same color as I chose here. It's just less pronounced when you view it as these like wispy strands. I don't really want to go mess around with like all the colors. It'll just take forever. So I think there we go. That's fine. No biggie. Facial hair didn't work out. Okay, where am I at now? I think that's everything. Let's take a final look. Alright, now we're going to be tasked with a name. That's going to be maybe the hardest part of all of this. Awesome though, but it's fun when you go through this process. Regardless of what you pick, it's kind of like the investment you put into creating a character gives you a bond with your choices, and that's a nice thing to have to start a game with. So, you know, I could go an easy route and think about like kind of geologic sounding names. I don't want it to be too on the nose though, like that. Let me get my laptop out and see if I want to do a little researchy. Well, certainly not Rocky. I mean, if I was thinking something like more on the nose, that like is, I feel, more in line with a character name, might be something like Strata. Strata is nice. Maybe something. Nothing wrong with using no brain cells. Let's see, some formulation of stratum. I mean, this stuff can be quite taxing to a brain too. Like sometimes, I think a lot of players like get through character creation and are just like drained of energy, which is fine. Like I am too sometimes, but I find it fun as well. No, I'm just gonna do Strata. And just I don't know. Strata. It works. It's 2 syllables. Yeah, Obsidian's like a real nice one too. Like that's kind of what I was thinking, is like something, either a rock type that just sounds good, or like taking it as a star and morphing it into a more unique sounding name, like adding some apostrophization or you know, removing some sounds. Like Obsidian's very nice. Obsidia would be kind of a thing. Obsidia. Like Obsidia's also cool sounding. What's like my favorite type of like gem? Tourmaline. Interesting. And some of these already are names because, you know, they're pretty. And we use pretty stuff in names. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with it. But I would be tempted by a lot of names in this space.
You need a guardian. Choose one.
Round 2. Love it. Yeah, everything in the character creation is there. Yeah, I mean you grow your own story by doing this. I need to be taking more screenshots. There we go. I didn't even take a screenshot of my character. What's wrong with me? It's okay, I'll do it later. I'll have plenty of time for that. Okay, let's see what a guardian is. Huh. Yeah. Gotcha. An ideal pairing. Yeah, no, I can see where this can go story-wise. But, you know, some of those things you can just make up, you know, story as you go. A relationship that has its friction is valid too. So part of me is thinking of like a guardian who, so if my character is bringing like this ancient wisdom of, you know, rocks and the earth to bear, maybe someone who comes in with like a sense of disillusionment with the way things are, like a half-orc. Like, I don't want to destroy nature anymore. I want to go take a different path. Okay, I'm thinking tiefling. Yeah, you know, it's not that bad of an idea. Maybe you can't fix people in real life, but in fantasy. It's a nice song here too while we pick this. Alright. Tiefling, I guess? Why not? And then I need stuff. I need sub-race. So there could be a fire relationship here. fire and rock and volcanic thing. Yeah, I dig that. Volcanoes are powerful but formative geologically. Okay, so this is, I guess, going to influence combat too. So, do I want to have a martial companion? Fire wielding companion? Okay, I kind of like the fire orientation. And general, yeah, I don't know. I don't have as sort of much thought into what I want the Guardian to be like. Do a female Guardian, I suppose. I don't really know the gender dynamics of these worlds that I'm dealing with. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't need to be that complex. But just like spend a couple bit of thoughts. And yeah, and that is a dimension I will use for sure. But I don't want it to be the only like dimension of consideration for my choices. Can, you know, at least consider companionship in a more general sense too. Companionship on, you know, the quest too. I think for me is a category that I want to consider. Like, what point of view are they bringing into the struggle, and like what loyalties will they have and question. Like I think those are all for me part of it. And then like the romance angle will happen. Like that'll be part of just the progression of the story.
Remarkable.
Good luck.
Follow your instincts.
Remarkable. Truly.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't so fixed. These games in this world tends to be about, you know, choice. So I expect that they've done a good job of letting the story and your character's journey develop organically rather than just like go through fixed story progressions to at least, you know, whatever degree they can. So I'm not like expecting it to be like a locked-in step after step journey, because it's D&D. So D&D is made. Exactly. All right, we know we got a quest and we know we got stuff to do, and like potentially it's existential threats and universe saving. But first, we're gonna go steal some things from people in this tavern. Or whatever fun we can have, so. Okay. So many selfies. Yeah, I'll get to that. I was thinking it conflicted with the pigmentation, but it doesn't actually. It stacks quite nicely. Yeah, it does layer nicely. Demonic red. Okay. Dope. Boom. That's good. The space buns are kind of cool too with the horns. It's a good pairing. My initial thinking was like kind of something wavy, like layers of lava flow. But again, like, you know, they could be anything. This is a little bit more kind of layery. Longer kind of layery. It's kind of cool with the horns too. Okay, I like this one. Dope. It goes well with the horns. That's the same highlights as my... I don't have a highlight intensity up though, but... Let's just try something real quick. Maybe red highlights. Sweet. Fabulous. That's some power. Sound the alarm. Definitely not paid enough for that. Oh no. And gathering up townsfolk. Ooh. That's right. I'm not going to do this without a fight. They're witness to a pretty intense sequence. That's how you do it. Yep, they're gone. Yeah, there's some similarities to existence in any form, coping with the universe you've been thrust into, whatever it is. This dragon's got some nice horns, too. Here's the POV shot. Oof. Hell of a place you found yourself, Strata.
My
Escape the Nautiloid. Press J to view. Yep. Oh, cool.
Never wanted the easy path.
Nursery. Mind Flayer Pod.
Someone else got out.
A ruptured
Let's see
mind
what
flayer.
this does. Not everyone made it out alive.
Sphincter. I don't want to leave through the sphincter.
Oh, odd. I feel better.
A restoration. Thank you.
Might still be stuck not getting back in that thing. Where the hells are we?
Alright, let's go do damage to the nursery.
This is the pool that thing came from. The parasite now writhing behind your eye.
Nice.
The casing is fragile. The slightest touch could cause it to crumble.
Yeah, I mean, chances are I don't really want this to remain intact. Oh, these options for the Twitch community thing, that's kind of cool. Dialogue history, that's pretty cool too. And then standard game menu. Let's, now that we have access to the game menu. Quick save is a good idea. Okay. Worth it.
Lucky I made it out.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to be going through. Oh God.
No traps, please.
Brain jar, huh? Having a seat in the viscous chair. Yeah, you sound very creepy. So that's what the apparatus does. Moves us around. Oh God.
Doesn't do anything.
Okay, fair enough. Wild. Alright, well, before we go out there, let's go up and check out what was going on.
You've come to save us from this place. From this place, you'll free us.
The exposed brain quivers in expectation.
Please. Before they return.
Jesus Christ.
They return.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good question.
The enemy. So many enemies. A newborn. Born new from this house.
Oh, okay.
You realize you're talking to an intellect devourer, a minion of the mind flayers who abducted you.
Yeah. They're definitely beyond the point of saving. It's nice to get that Arcana reveal. Somebody felt that.
Curious. Brains. Curious.
breeding an army in the caverns of Isengard. Yeah, what a way to start out. A brain co-opted by psionic powers.
Doesn't do anything.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I got some acid damage as a result. Oops. Wonder if... Okay. That's kind of what I thought.
This is your end.
No, you got the wrong person.
Throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past.
I like the DM.
A silver sword. And a flash of your face seen through the strange woman's eyes.
Oh. My head. What is this? Skvar. You are no Thor.
No, I'm not.
Vlaakith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive. Who am I? Your only chance of survival.
Oh, that's great.
We carry Mind Flayer parasites. Unless we escape, unless we are cleansed, our bodies and minds will be tainted and twisted. Within days, we will be Geich, Mind Flayers. First, we exterminate the imps. Then we find the helm and take control of the ship. We will address the matter of a cure for this infection once we reach the material plane.
Okay, so combat happens in rounds. Games pauses around you during combat, so you have time to plan your actions. So during your turn, you can move, take an action, and take a bonus action. Yep, familiar stuff. So what do I got? What might I want to do? Oh, I control her too.
This is your end. Victory awaits. This is your end.
Hope your soul is in good hands.
You proved surprisingly adequate in battle.
Damn right.
Now, to the helm.
Sure. I'll deal with this stuff later.
With haste.
Ship won't be able to take another dragon attack. We need to get out before it's too late.
Not now. We must go to the helm.
Just chilling. More sphincters. Gross.
Ache machinery. I can make no sense of it.
Okay, there's some sigils. Let's check them out.
Another mystery.
How about this one?
Aggression.
Okay, aggression. That's like activate a weapon of some kind.
Man isn't dead, but he's totally unresponsive.
Like me. Huh. You seem like you might not be converted yet.
We have no time for stragglers.
You don't get to call all the shots.
The construction is too alien. Nothing looks familiar.
This ship is crashing. Do you intend to die for a stranger?
Yep.
Try that contraption next to the pod. They did something to it when they sealed me in. Hurry! Please! Come on! Get me out of this thing! Keep looking!
The console appears dormant. The mechanisms are completely unrecognizable at first, but then you spy an empty socket. Nothing. The console remains dormant.
Whatever fits in that socket must power this thing.
Whatever fits in that socket, huh?
Not now. We must go to the helm.
Okay.
The console appears dormant.
What about that malachite?
Mechanisms are completely unrecognizable at first. Nothing.
Okay.
The console remains dormant.
We need to find some kind of a thing.
Brain in a jar.
I picked it up.
Curious.
Light flickers in his eyes, but he seems totally unaware of his surroundings.
Like me. I apologize. Wonder if I should put you out of your misery. Alright. Too tough for us.
Indolence breeds madness.
Too tough for her.
One true way.
The console appears dormant. Nothing. The console remains dormant.
So you can't hit it either. I will help you.
If not over, then through.
Okay, gold key. That's probably for chest. Seems like a kind of thing they would do. Where's that brain going? Intellect Devourer. Where are you off to, brain?
How many hosts of these gay infected?
Death won't take me yet.
Well, we did a bad job pinning it down. There's probably some goodies if we were able to get that. So it goes. So my headphones are beeping because it's about time. So... Oh, actually...
Not now. We
No, I wasn't intending to talk to you. Nah. So I'm gonna call it a stream here and pick up next time. We got through character creation and into the start of things. And my headphones are running out of juice, and I also have to go pick someone up. It was supposed to be later, but I just got a text that I gotta go now. So it works out timing-wise anyway. But thanks very much for joining me and playing with me. And we'll continue where we left off. See if we can do all the fun things. We'll get one of these brains next time. Alright, take care everybody. Be well. See you soon.